Hello, hello, Awesome Soul here, and welcome to the long-awaited return of the Robot Review series. This is something I thought I would bring back because Robocraft has kind of been a little bit lacking on the news front, and the game has changed quite a bit since I last did the whole review series. So there's a lot more to talk about. Of course, though, this is live gameplay with me playing it, so if anything messes up or goes wonky, well, you know, I guess that's part of the charm. But, yeah, so this robot right here is... Almost got the kill. No, that's not the name. This is the Autumn Gale by Luke 20055. Sitting pretty at around 1,350 CPU, if I remember correctly. But as I usually do with this series, I guess I haven't done it for quite a while, so some people probably won't know. But how I usually do it is I go in, have a game, usually a one-off game, sort of to give my first impression, and then go out into the garage bay afterwards and sort of look things over. I probably should be getting out of here. So first thing off, the blink is definitely very, very handy on this thing. I don't usually run blink a lot, but this frame seems to be holding up a fair bit. I don't know if it is a good placement just yet, but I went up against that rail impaler and didn't seem to be taken out. Perhaps they were aiming for some of the back end, however. I know they tried to take out the flak. There we are. So we have another flyer. Speaking of the flak, we can go ahead and try and bring this guy down. As far as the weapon placement goes on this, definitely... Oh wow, I think that was a grounded flak kill. That's a first. Or maybe not. But yeah, as far as the weapons go on this thing, it's definitely a good combo. Flak Plasma is definitely one of the best combos in the game, just because flak is anti-air, like it's only anti-air. And then you've got the plasma, which is pretty much anti-ground and anti-mech. Ooh, scored a hit there. Might be able to... no, I'm gonna wait till I regenerate a little bit. Yeah, see there, I've lost my blink. So I'm gonna try and hide away as best I can. They do have 2 aircraft, I think, perhaps 3. So having the flak here is definitely important. I think I might be the only flak support on the team. Got that little Proto-Seeker bot there. I've noticed they're actually, I wouldn't say powerful, I'd say they're useful. Or, well, not even useful, just usable if you have a low CPU bot. Mainly for taking out other aircraft, I've noticed. People kind of using it for that purpose. And there we go. So, it is time, yet again, to blink out of here. Yeah, definitely very handy here. And I do quite like the thruster placement at the back. They're fairly protected. Yeah, definitely would love to have that flak back. I think this might be a first. I've been killed by Proto-Seeker. Would you believe it? Never thought I would see the day where Proto-Seeker killed me. But yeah, switching out to our flak here, let's get some revenge. I guess some of the other things are definitely noticeable when it comes to this bot is the rather large usage of the TX armor, which I have to say is a mistake. As Mark has even kind of said on Twitter, it is the flyer armor. If you're not a flyer, don't use TX because it's kind of garbage in its current state, and also in its current state, it's, even as the quote-unquote flyer armor, as Mark kind of put it, it's not good. Don't use TX armor unless you're desperate to lower your weight. Otherwise, try and find another method of building your bot. So yeah, with a hovercraft, honestly, you're best off going with just regular armor, honestly. Although, the only thing that it is going to affect is your hover height. So if you, for whatever reason, are desperate to get off the ground and away from the explosions, but I mean, even at a max hover height, you're still... there you are. Even at max hover height, you are still going to be hit by Plasma Splash, so it's not really that big of a problem. Honestly, I think you are best off getting the extra armor as well as the extra armor boost. As well, it's going to give you more damage boost too, because it's going to lower your CPU. So honestly, you really, there isn't a huge amount of a perk to actually using the TX armor. So Luke, if you are watching this, and hopefully you are, I definitely recommend peeling off all of, if not most of, the TX armor here. Blinks on recharge, regenerating now. Not sure how I wasn't, well, spoke too soon. Damn. But yeah, I'm definitely out in the lead here. Not quite sure. Okay, never mind. I thought just disconnected for a second there. Most of my kills are probably against the aircraft, though. I wouldn't doubt that. Speaking of, let's get our revenge here. And dead. A dead proto-flyer is a good proto-flyer. That's what I always say. Although I do need to worry about that rail bot. And that flak. Jeez, okay. Let's get over the hill. Try and hide a little bit. But yeah, the rail is probably the biggest counter to this thing, since you're only using a single flak, and your blink module is more or less exposed, at least on the one side. You have to be looking at it from above, but it is still exposed. That is going to be another big target for rails to take out. So keep your eyes open for rails. That's probably the biggest counter I can see to this bot. As well as plasma, it seems. Although that is high damage boost? No, I'm not so sure. Let's just try and hide away here. Another thing I thought about is when you actually do remove the TX armor, it's going to make your bot heavier, and therefore, by default, not give you as much hover height. So that would mean you're not going to be shifting super high up in order to block out the flak shot. Or turn off the flak, I guess. See, disabled. There we go, like that. So when you're kind of sort of hovering around and you're trying to zoom in, you're not quite sure where you're at, you're bumping into things like I am right now. There's our little friend here. You're bumping into things and going off a cliff, and you don't see it coming, well then you're hovering a little bit too high and therefore flak disengages. That is one of the big problems with using flak on a hovercraft, is if you're at max hover height, most of the time you're going to be kind of going in and out of flak's effective range, as far as, being on the ground. But it's definitely proving very, very useful here, because flak and then plasma as your main weapon definitely needs some kind of weapon that can hit air. So either a laser leviathan could also do it, but that's more of a all-around kind of thing. So yeah, honestly, I would say the loadout as is, keep it like that. Doesn't need to change. I think I saw somebody trying to sneak around here, though I didn't see anybody with the ghost module, so maybe just a figment of my imagination. Yeah, try and duck down a little bit so we stay on the ground for our flak to get full effectiveness. Oh, and there we go. So, first impression of this thing, it is definitely a very good bot. I know I've said definitely a lot in this match, but yeah, 12 kills, 4 deaths. Mind you, that is the top of the team as far as deaths go, and that's not a good thing. Assists, a little low on assists, but hey, we got the most kills and most damage. So yeah, this thing is pretty good. So with that, I will now take you into the build mode and show off some of the things I kind of would tweak there. And here we are in the garage bay. So, as I was saying during the gameplay portion of the video, pretty sure that all of these TX cubes can go. Not quite sure how much weight they're dropping, but honestly, it's probably not worth the added hover height. I'm not even sure if you'll actually drop anything. You'll have to test that out, but they drop, you know, hover height and all that. But honestly, I think the better benefit of having a better damage boost and a better armor boost far outweighs that little possible problem there. And the other thing that I did notice is the flak. So let's peel this away, shall we? And it is mounted on top of nothing. So it is only using the side mounts, which isn't terrible, I guess, but having that extra layer of connection is very important. So what I would recommend is either simply moving it up here, or if you can, reverse this behind it. So this hover blade is mounted on that side, and then if you could possibly get something like a edge slope facing it up here, so the hover blade can rest underneath the little slope there. That way you can still get a mounting point facing up, or directly down, depending on if you're talking about the block or if you're talking about the flak cannon. The last thing that I do need to mainly talk about is this thing, the blink module. So aesthetically, it looks very good, how it sort of is lined up like that. That's probably what the builder is going for, but function-wise, it's probably not the best. So honestly, what I would do is mount it so you've got 3 going in the front and then 3 going in the back. That way, it will sort of strengthen the gun mount here, because you've got this big, huge, high armor piece kind of blocking some of the damage going into here from certain angles. And then you've also got it connected from the back here, or I guess the middle section. Rather than just having your connection points in this area, you've got your connections over a wider area, if that makes sense. Anything else I could think of? I do really enjoy this mounting method here. Definitely seems to help with the health of these things. So as I was kind of saying with the blink module, you now have to take out this section of the bot if you want to take out these guns. Instead of just aiming for this and taking it out, you have to aim for multiple areas if you want to take out the gun. Or if you want to be more successful at taking out the gun. But yeah, other than that, I would say this is a pretty successful bot. So if you would like to download this thing and try it out for yourself, the name of the bot as well as the name of the creator can be found in the description down below. With that, guys, I of course have been the Awesome Soul. I thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.